Yo guys, I'm just about to go out, and what I want to talk about tonight is building momentum. Um, we we always trying to get like a little bit out of our head, and that's the first things that I'm trying to do when I'm out. We we also help like the student like really like trying to get like a nice flow. We typically like send them like in 10 sets in 10 minutes, and reason being is not like in 10 minutes something's gonna happen, but what we're trying to do instead is like building a nice little momentum where you're really on your path, you really like enjoy yourself, like really doing your own things where you like hit up as many people as possible, pretty hopefully. And once you reach that little momentum in building shit tons of action, you actually start enjoying like what you're doing. And that's really like where like guys struggle the most, because they tend to like, there's a big like truck here coming up, so it's gonna be a great night. So guys like do like little approach, like sniper approach. And what we're trying to do instead is like really building like a much more resilience where they really like enjoy the process. They take as many action as possible, and by doing such, you can tell that like girls are not gonna be like this guy has an agenda. So you just like pop from like nowhere, for example, and boom, hey, who are you? And maybe you start making out. Typically like those things happen very quickly when you start really taking a lot of action. And one of the things that we really like trying to get with the student is really like minimizing time between action. And that's a good metric that I like to have, like especially like in the first part of the night. I'm not trying to get anything. There's nothing to really like win per se. You're here just enjoying yourself. You're just here to start opening and start talking. And that's for a lot of guys like one of the hardest things to do, because they feel judged, they feel like stifled, they feel like extremely logical. I'm an engineer myself, so I know what it feels like to be like stuck in my head. But with this nice little flow that you're building after like, let's say 10-15 minutes, you start really like finding like things that you would never do. You would never really like come up to a girls like that. It feels almost like natural. One book that I really like, The Art of War, where it talks about like almost from a philosophical standpoint, enjoying like taking action, having really a sense of happiness like in this action. And that really come down to that, like you're just here to celebrate yourself. A lot of guys like go out celebrating like really stupid things. It's Friday, they are with the bro, they're just drinking, getting wasted. And what I tend to remind myself is like, this is Friday, like what did you do today? Well, you've done a lot, Bryce. You've been reading, you've been preparing this video. I've been eating healthy the whole day. I meditate. I also like done a lot on my work, on my business. And when I start like realizing all the things that I've done versus, much of like average people, when they go out, they're just loser who just go out with the bro. And just that sense of like having like a purpose and accomplishing your goal, you should be able to celebrate that. So I really like that, and I hope that's something that you can actually do like in repetition, always going with like this idea of like minimizing time between repetition. I don't want to repeat myself, but I really like this process. This is something that I've been doing for years and years and years. Love that. Love when the student like start getting a little bit out of his own way, start unfilter himself. And that's where you start getting like the most result, because the moment that you spend like with this girl might be just like tonight. You don't know. Tomorrow you might be dead. I just remind myself like it's actually like something like 1797 night left for Bryce. And I think about this. I think about, how crazy. That's a small number. So guess what? When you do things like that, you start realizing, well, I better make this like as epic as possible. And this is really what I'm gonna do tonight. I'm gonna go out, getting like a lot of action done immediately, minimizing time between interaction, and something good's gonna happen. So if you like this content, just like put your thumbs up, and I'll see you later with Wealthy Pip. Peace.